he came by, removed the filter piece, and showed us what it should look like compared to what it actually looked like. He showed us one with copper and one without. Ours was completely empty. The copper was no longer in the chamber. I mean, it was completely empty. Nothing was in there. When you look at the piece he replaced it with, I couldn't believe my eyes. So, keep that in mind. Get ready to replace that thing in over a year because you have to run your filter every day. So water's going to go through that. And it took us a good 6 weeks before the green left. It was strange because when we replaced the motor, the color was changing almost right away. But that copper, the ion, that takes a long time to kick in. But unfortunately, it's this time of year, so we can't even use the pool. But we have to run the filter. But just so you know, be aware of that. And in October, my wife and I celebrated 19 years together. Yes, we've made it that long. God bless her. Yeah, our first date was October of 2002. Crazy. Where does the time go? But it's been a great 19 years. And very grateful to be with her and for her putting up with me. And this leads me to the next part of this, going back to the creativity. Well, I've been wanting for years to build some kind of Halloween decoration outside. And I'm mainly focusing on Halloween columns, like cemetery columns with the stone, big ones. And I've man, this is the year I should do it. But I was buying the wood at the beginning of October. I'm saying to myself, man, I may not get these things done, but I think so. But in the back burner, I was also working on my scripts. I was trying to get into the voiceover thing again, which hasn't been doing diddly. And I had the idea to do this kids book. Lots of ideas, nothing really getting done. And my wife called me on it. She said, you should focus on one thing. This is crazy. You have so many ideas and nothing ever gets done. And she was right. That has been one of my biggest creative blocks. And I know that happens to us. Artists have a tendency to start something and never finish it. I don't know what it is with us. Maybe it's just too many ideas brewing and not focusing on one thing. And there's nothing wrong with having other interests, but it is a very true statement. Like take Kevin Hart, for example. I know he was trying other things, trying to get into acting and stuff like that early on. But he wasn't getting any success. But he knew he could kill it in stand-up. So what did he do? He focused all his attention to stand-up, getting better at it, getting bookings, going to see other comics, just whatever it took to stay in that. But he was focused on that one particular thing. He honed that craft, he worked on it, and things started building from there. And then the acting jobs came, and everything else that he does was because he focused on one thing. And so that is what I've been doing. I dropped the Halloween columns idea and started focusing on the kids' book, which I have been doing pretty diligently since then. I've had small setbacks. Well, the idea was actually brewing last year. It was a suggestion by my sister making some kind of kids' book. So I started playing with the idea. She thought a cat would be a cute character, and I thought, okay, I could do that. Just have a cat hang around with other animal friends, but it just wasn't working for me. I'm like, well, what kind of cat would I want to write about? And what appeals to me a lot in that realm? Superheroes. I love superheroes. So let me make a super cat of some sort. And the original idea I had was her being a cat that would be a normal cat, and then the family went away and she turned into the super cat, but that just seemed too much. So I just thought of the idea of her just being this super cat all the time and being a very special cat that helps out other animals. And the idea grew from there. So I created my character Meow Meow. That's just the name I like. I like saying Meow Meow. She's a cute character. I'll put some pictures of her on the Artist Matters page. You can see some of the ones I posted on the Artist Matters Facebook page and on other social media and Instagram. She's a cute character. Okay, so I had these pencil drawings, but now I want them in the digital realm because inking by hand is very scary to me. If you make a mistake, oh, that's it. So I said to myself, well, I got to get some digital artists to do this. But as I reached out to artists and asked for quotes, their prices per page were just too much for me. And I mean, yeah, they want to have that price per page, that's fine. But I am not ready to churn out that kind of money for that. But where does that leave me? I'm back at step one. So what does that mean for me? I guess I got to learn digital art now. How? Well, I've checked out some things. There's a program like Procreate. Sounds very good, but it is mainly for an iPad. I have an iPad, but it's an old iPad. And Procreate will not work with that older iPad. So I'm saying to myself, I do not want to buy a new iPad. That's about the same price I'd have to pay to hire one of the digital artists. So someone I knew suggested I try out a Wacom tablet. What's a Wacom tablet? Well, it is a drawing tablet. You plug it into the computer, and it's just this flat tablet that you can draw on. It comes with a stylus, and then you just have to get some kind of illustration software, and there you go. At first I tried Affinity Designer, but it just wasn't working for me. Thankfully, the tablet came with Clip Studio Paint, which works great. Obviously, I had to learn a lot about how to use that. It's totally relearning drawing in a different way because I'm so used to looking down at what I'm drawing, but now my hand had to be down and I have to look at the screen of what I'm drawing because I'm drawing on my computer. It's a very different way to do this, but since I have been drawing forever, it was kind of easy to pick up. And thank God for YouTube, because there's a lot of free videos out there on how to use the program better. A lot of tips and hacks that help me a lot. There's a thing called bleed lines and pages in children's books. Yeah, that's a whole another thing that you have to remember the bleed area. Yeah, okay, it's so much information, but I had a trouble trying to figure it out, and then eventually I did. And then as you color things, there's certain layers that you can do. Layers are everything when you're digitally drawing and painting, mainly painting. Because this way you have to know, okay, this layer goes here. And if I'm going to shade it, I don't want this to bleed into the other layer. So like if I draw Meow Meow, on one layer it's going to be her legs. On another layer it's going to be her skirt. Another layer will be her hair. So this way, when I'm coloring it, it's not going over into the other one. It's like its own little area. Yeah, I know. It's a lot of information. But I figured it out. Thankfully, the videos have been helpful. Lots of people are on there that give so much information, and it's been a process. This is like one of the biggest undertakings I've ever done creatively. But I'm determined to get this book out in 2022. So look for Meow Meow. It's going to be a cute book. I'm working on it as best I can. It's a learning process, but I will figure it out and get it out there. And I will keep you posted. And another final fun event was going to the North Carolina State Fair. I have some extended family there, and we went there, and some of our New York family joined us. It was crazy that we were there basically for one whole day together at this fair. But it was huge. I don't think I've ever been to a state fair. And this one was massive. It took up so many blocks, rides, carnival games, and of course, plenty of food vendors. I had a grilled cheese wrapped in bacon. It was cheesy heaven, I must say. Of course, I had to have the deep fried Oreos. Yes, that's like a carnival staple there. It was just great being around each other and just experiencing this enormous state fair together, if just for one day. And being in North Carolina, I've never really stayed in North Carolina. I've passed through it, and it was fun. The weather was great. Couldn't ask for more. And just time with family again is always a gift. I also had a great family reunion in November. My sister and niece came down. It has been 3 years since they were here. They came with Mom last time, so it was the first time coming together, just the two of them, and it was fun to have them here. And of course, my niece and myself got super creative. I did the 10-minute canvas painting exercise with her too. I had some canvases I already did backgrounds on that were just waiting there, so we did it, and it was so much fun. She enjoyed it. We came out with some really fun paintings. I was so amazed how she took some ideas I had and turned them into something completely different. That was amazing work. She is such a creative little girl. I'm so happy to see that she's into the art. And it was great that I was able to share that with her. And of course, she enjoyed it. It was so much fun to do these paintings with her. She was looking forward to doing these. And we did them. And I think there was some paint left over. And I started, throwing paint together on another canvas. And then she came around and added some more stuff, little things here, little highlights, sparkles, whatever it is. She's 6. She just turned 6 this year. Creative girl. It's really great to see, because I hadn't seen her since last year in January. So seeing her in the summertime was great, and now seeing her again. This time she was at my house, and we could just have fun and draw and color and paint and do all these little collaborations together. We did take her to SeaWorld. She'd never been there, so we got to see a lot of the marine life there and be around the park and be inspired. She got to touch a dolphin. We had a dolphin encounter where we had about 15 minutes with this one dolphin. I think Rascal was the one we got a picture taken with. Such an adorable creature. I love them so much. And actually, our first collaboration was a few days earlier when I had a Meow Meow drawing. I colored it, and then she added some sky and stars and hearts and a happy face on it. So that was our first true collaboration. And then we did the paintings together. And of course, after SeaWorld, we were inspired by the place and did another painting with sea creatures. Her version of sea creatures and my version combined together into this nice underwater beautiful painting that I let her take home with her. So she got to take home that painting, and we kept the others and have them hanging up in the house. It was very nice to spend that time. Plus, we also had visitors. My stepbrother has a brother from another mother. Charles came with his partner Aubrey, and we had a little early Thanksgiving beginning of November. It was so nice to have them over and just have our own little Thanksgiving gathering and enjoy the food in each other's company and catch up on things and really just enjoy each other's company. That's what it was all about. It worked out great. Couldn't have asked for more. And one other thing, during the Christmas season, we went to see a Christmas show, which went through the Nativity story, where Aubrey was the musical director for the Christmas songs. And it was great to see him do his thing and have different takes on Christmas songs and hymns we've heard before. And the choir and musicians were top notch. They could have played anywhere, in any venue, in any stadium, and they would have been right at home. It was so nice to see someone else I know channel their creativity